En ting til at sige er ikke også, at det er decideret modbydeligt at sige, at I repeat in English because they tell me I don't understand my language. It's awful and mean to tell people like they are looking like they are totally damaged about drugs and addiction, but because this process me, for example, have been into was inhumane treatment from many cases because of, I guess, because of my personal opinions, but I'm not sure. But it have been inhumane, and I look sometimes. I have to tell. Sometimes I look like a ghost, a death, like the death in a female person. I'm so goddamn tired and sick, and maybe uh, almost ugly to look at the camera. And sometimes I'm pretty good looking. Sees according to my age and my other standards. Not comparable of the whole world, of course. And I'm pretty proud of being that condition in my age and after all that really, really dramatic and hardcore things happened in our lives. And so I sometimes I'm in the mood and the patience to put on makeup, putting my hair and making a really pretty good um, figure out of myself and present myself in my own opinion quite a pretty way, but not professional in any cases, of course, because I haven't got the tools to that. And sometimes I'm looking like, oh my God, this is a destiny. Here's one of those women, no respect at all, because very cheap looking and no one likes, no, even guys or even myself or even women like it, but except if they are jealous or really have a low self-esteem. No many people like hearing other persons speaking so negative about themselves. One thing is your parents' voice or something, a cliche. No one wants to listen about all these cases and childhood anymore. But I just tell this voice, I'm telling you how awful and ugly you are. And sometimes, but actually, when I see myself as tired and ugly, it's more the truth than when, and I see myself as pretty, and those pictures where I am pretty, it is because I am more pretty. That's pictures and videos and those films and videos where I look ugly and tired. I am pretty ugly and tired, at least sick and tired in those pictures, and that's too comparable. I mean, I am able to judge my own looks, and I know you don't. Not only because you smile, because you can smile more pretty and less pretty. And are you insecure? Are you tired? Or how you tease makeup, not makeup, the light and the point where from you taking the pictures and so. Sometimes you also feel if other people are posting your pictures or telling you something that shows a picture of you, they might be knowing that I'm not proud of that. Oh, you're looking so happy, and maybe you're jealous about a girl have been skinny and she has been eating too much, and oh, you look so happy, but everybody knows without telling it, she was put much prettier according to most people's opinion. To be honest, when she was a little skinny and depressed, because she was more maybe feminine, not because you're always not pretty when you're a little more curves and smiling, but in maybe this girl doesn't fit in that because they're not used to look at her, and then they are lying too much to her. And when I'm too pale and skinny without makeup and maybe also tired, and so I look like is HET, and it's not polite to say, but I have to post anyway. And the sad here is that so much people feel it's a competition, even it's not because you wanna tell something to people, but even you want to tell something you feel are important. Is of course the human nature. It's to judge and comment where you look, and I must say. It's unfortunately if it's a society and we have the standards that the healthy look is a bit more round, here in the face, and a bit more, curves and a bit more happy maybe a little more laughing and so, and then it's easier to say you are fat, and then they tell if you're too skinny and pale and even tired and maybe a little bit unpolite and almost maybe telling something, and your language sometimes not that pretty if you are more uh, calm and able to speak polite, and you're tired and you are negative, and so it's a very bad impression. But sadly, it's almost impossible. So I know I look sometimes in some people's eyes like he's a failure in the country, and oh my God. People also, some kind of people have compassion, and some people even don't know what I'm talking about, but because they cannot see any kind of problems. Maybe I'm tired and not making a model style right now, but there's nothing wrong. I'm a lucky person. I should know how much trouble anybody else have, and I know it's compared to other countries much worse, much more serious cases of betrayed and poverty and loneliness in a level that's much worse than in our country. The case is sometimes you say, "Oh my God," because it's been when you think back about television in my youth and childhood, we didn't. It was normal that people been into in the streets and journalists going into people's home, and they're just looking at it. Look, they wasn't put on makeup, and it was a common situation in their living room, and always famous persons always just sat and speak. Because you are a writer or an artist, oh, I'm going to put up the makeup. But of course here it's can be too much judgment, and then I'm getting so really angry about maybe people who will not admit they are looking at my movies and films and say, oh, she's ugly today, because it's not, it cannot be able to it's not possible to not mention all that in nowadays. But it's sad that you have so much about people's looks. So maybe insecure persons and teenagers and anybody says, and oh fuck, how she's looking awful, because you have something to say, and you all who will not like to be pretty, and it's not always possible if you're too tired and so goddamn depressed, but you're still able to and allowed to tell speak your opinion. This is a big trouble by being your own channel, because you're not about getting subscribers, but you think you have something to say. And sometimes you say, I want to look as pretty as people who's a lot of makeup and maybe us models, but you're still allowed to be here, and it can be great difference about today you're looking like an awful person appearance, and sometimes wow, and that's life, and it's, as well as I remember, it's also normal if you are not using all these tools, and you can be very tired with one day, and the next day your girlfriend can go to school and wow, you're looking so really, really, really amazing today. What's happened to you? Ja, Vincent.